Welcome back, baseball fans. The 1973-76 Carryover League. Tonight we're back in the 1974 box, second year of 4 in the timeline. And we're going to look at keeper cards for 8 more teams. We did the American League East and the American League North last week. We're going to wrap up the American League tonight by doing the Midwest and West. And so we'll start with the White Sox in the American League Midwest. And they're going to have on their list Dick Allen, Terry Forster, Carlos May, and Wilbur Wood. Now, the beauty of Dick Allen, he wins the MVP in 72. He's got a great 73, and he's got a great 74. You see, 301, 32 bombs. His defense starts to go away, but he can play some second base for you if you really want to do that. That could be interesting, actually. I mean, okay, well, you got George Orta at second. Boy, if he could figure out how to get these extra bats in the lineup, because they have some first basemen to think about. They have Tony Muser. They could promote Lamar Johnson, who hits 320. Anyway, it's an interesting concept, but this guy is the star of the team, and he'll be a star. But probably, I'm thinking the 73 is better than this by a smidgen, so they'll probably go 73 Dick Allen for a 1-year deal, and then 74 Dick Allen for a 1-year deal. Now, here's Terry Forster, and that's, well, he becomes situational at this. Well, actually, what's the stat say? 363, huh? Really? Look at the strikeouts against lefties. No extra base hits. Homer 1 to 8 double. I can live with that. The double and triples are low as well. Yeah, he's just not going to be who he once was. He'll get better later in his career when he's with the Dodgers and then with the Braves. He has like a 3-part career where he's good with the White Sox and the Dodgers and with the Braves until he's bad with those teams. Here's Carlos May, and you're seeing a pretty ordinary outfielder now, which is a real shame, I guess. Had that brilliant 1972, and then he starts to just lose his... He loses everyday ability, star power, all-star power, and he's just an ordinary kind of guy here. And here's Wilbur Wood. Now, what jumps off the page to me is I see all these homers over there and the hits and walks, and I'm like, good. Let the lefties start doing that, because that means he's probably getting the righties out more, which is more important, and a single on the floor. I like this Wilbur Wood card for a later in the career version of him. 20-game winner, 19-game loser, but 71 and 72 are his best years. I'll just put it like that. I mean, this is 2 years removed from the 1972 Chi Sox, so you expect the old guard to regress a little. They don't have quite the longevity that the Detroit Tigers had from 68 to 74. By the time the late 70s and the early 80s roll around, they'll have 2 more versions of their team. The Eric Soderholm, Oscar Gamble years, the Disco Demolition years, and then you've got the 83, Lamar Hoyt, Dotson, Britt Burns, that team. Kansas City. They have Mayberry, Patton, Piniella, and Splittorff. This Mayberry is okay. Look at the walks. The walks really help the card out a lot. And this would work, but he's going to be better in 75. Marty Patton. Starter 5. I don't like starter 5s. I mostly put these guys in the bullpen. So if by 74 he's going to the bullpen, you might as well get his best year, which is probably going to be 75 or 76. Here's Piniella. He's actually a Yankee, but you still have the rights to him. So you could hurt the Yankees, which would be a good thing for Kansas City to do. They'll be tangling with the Yankees in the playoffs by the end of the decade. So if you want to keep Lou here longer, you go with this card. And Splittorff, one of these years he wins 20 games and is kind of middling. This one he doesn't win 20 games and he's middling, so I don't think this will be the card they pick. That was not very good, was it, for Kansas City? Probably Piniella, and they'll probably have to go think about a free agent or waiver claim. Your Brewers. 74 Brewers? Nah, they're still not going to be ready. Not till the late 70s. Milwaukee has Al Downing, who they acquired in a trade, Steve Hovley, Darryl Thomas, and Don Wilson. There were three of those, actually, all four of those guys weren't with Milwaukee in this timeline. Here's Downing. He's still effective, but the innings are down, and now he is just he's a starter 6 relief. He could be your number 3 with this card. They got Darryl Thomas to play second base, and he frankly can. Yeah, he could be a switch-hitting second baseman. Good base runner, no power. But I think he's got a better card in either 75 or 6. This is the final card of Don Wilson's career. He tragically passes away in the off-season of 1974. The last time we'll see him. The 73 card might be a little bit better than this one. All right, and the last team to look at in this division is the Twins. Boy, the Twins could really use a facelift. They have really teased at, you know, they definitely have the Hall of Famers. I'll give the Twins that. They had Carew, and they had Oliva, and they have Killebrew, and Blyleven. I mean, they have the Hall of Famers, but for some reason, they've only teased at this division, and they could use an off season where they knock it out of the park. Blyleven, Bobby Darwin, Dave Goltz, Jim Cott. They went about getting Bobby Darwin back. But first, let's start with Blyleven. A 2.66 ERA on 3 days rest. I'd go for this card. As a starter 8. Excellent card. This could be the one they take. Bobby Darwin. Corner outfielder who can throw, hit with power, strikes out a lot. Led the league in that department. 37 and 127. Back in this era, that was considered bad. Modern times, he fit right in. 25 homers and a 264 average. That is nice corner outfield production for the Twins, who didn't have it a year ago. So, yeah, they could go with Heisel and Darwin and find one more guy in their outfield. Dave Goltz, is he pitching on 3 days rest yet? Yeah, let's see here. Not quite. 3.26 ERA and a reasonable starter 6 card. It's all right. That's fine. He'd be a reasonable number 3 starter. And Jim Cott, is this the 20-win year? 21-game winner for the White Sox. Now, we've seen this happen a lot. Teams have been holding on to their players beyond the transaction. And they're in the same division. So you still have the rights to Cott, even though he's Chicago's property. So you could select this card. That's a heck of a card for Cott. I mean, the card is very good. It's for 2 years. And the thing about Cott is, and particularly in Strat, I mean, he's a Hall of Famer, right? And, in recent times, he attended the Brooks Robinson Memorial. I thought it was a pretty awesome move. They had a lot of Oriole legends. Joe Torre from the Yankees showed up, and Jim Cott showed up to talk about Brooks Robinson. That was pretty cool. But Cott in the 70s put a ton of men on base, and he's getting up there in age. So you might just want to let the Twins keep him and not, if I'm the White Sox, I'm not going to pay a lot of money to get Jim Cott because his shelf life will run out pretty soon. And then it'll just be an ordinary pitcher for the Phillies and the Cardinals a lot of part of the decade. All right, we're going to take a quick pause, and then we're going to get into the American League West, where the Oakland A's reside. Stay tuned. All right, we got the California Angels. It's going to be Dave LaRoche, Bob Oliver, Nolan Ryan, and the fourth guy, Gary Ross, did not play in 74, so it's just going to be 3 guys. LaRoche? No. That's not going to work. 479, it got to be a different year. Bob Oliver is better in 73, though he hits righties pretty well as a 3 first baseman. So 243 hitter. And Nolan Ryan begins to put men on base via the walk, as we know he will. We hit the 200. Yes, we are. Yeah, this is where it starts pretty much. The 300 innings, the 200 hits, the 200 walks, and the 300 strikeouts. It's a formula that might add up and be entertaining. And he wins 22 games, only gives up 18 home runs, which is very good, but it's just a lot of men to put on base. 5, 6, and 7, and 6 and 7. Of course, those are outs. And the funny part about it is really going to be hard to get 367 strikeouts out of this guy. He's got to pitch 9 innings all the time. Look, everything is a walk, a strikeout, or an X. They didn't have any room on the card for like fly ball Bs and ground ball Cs and pop outs and line outs, stuff like that, because he had so many strikeouts and walks. Probably not enough to get 367 if you play this 162 games, whatever. My guess is you wouldn't get it. Fun though. Fun, you know, when you get these statistical cards like that, they're fun to play and, you know, see if it plays out or not. The uniqueness of the cards is pretty cool, I think. They don't, you know, start to look like copycat cards of other players. They look pretty much, that's exclusively what a Nolan Ryan card looks like. All right. Oakland. Kenny Holt. Oh, big off season for the world champs. It's Ken Holtzman, Catfish Hunter, Joe Rudy, and Mike Torres they brought in. They've been making trades that are starting rotation every year. It worked this past time. So here's Holtzman. And we are in the dynasty year of 74, 19 and 17. That'll work. Here's Catfish Hunter, starter 8. Not as great as 72, but still clearly workable. 25-game winner. Definitely, you know, just decide between 73 or 74 for those guys. Joe Rudy. Look at the power suddenly on the left side. Boom. And he's still hitting 300. I believe. Should pretty close. 293. Yeah, because over here his average is down a little bit. And they got Mike Torres, who pitched for a bunch of teams, wins 20 games for Baltimore, and then Baltimore ships him to the A's, I believe, in 76. That's the card to get. This one's not too bad, though. It's the A's. It ultimately doesn't matter too much. They really can't screw this thing up. They're the Oakland A's in their dynasty. All right, finally an expansion team, Seattle. Like a box of chocolates. You never know what they're going to get, because they have no farm system yet. They don't exist until 1977. So they get a farm system comprised of other teams' leftovers, which are Matty L. Lou, Tom Bradley, they got in a trade, John Ellis, Danny Thompson. Here's Tom Bradley. Now, he is a giant after being traded from the White Sox, and that's not going to work. 5.17 ERA for a starter 6. Decent against righties. Oh, lefties. Look at the extra base hits. The homers, the double, then the triple. Oh, boy. And the walks. Yuck. Don't like that card. Have to pick a different year. Matty Alou, by the way, is gone by 74. Which leaves us John Ellis and Danny Thompson. John Ellis can hit. And he can play 2 positions for you. First and catcher. That's nice. He's a 285 hitter with 10 dingers. Very nice card for the Indian after leaving the Yankees. Danny Thompson as a shortstop 3 is nice. He gets on. He's got a better 75, I believe. 250 here in 74. 75, he gets like 270. But this would work as a 3 shortstop. Power against lefties. You'd like to see, that's a nice card against lefties. Homers, walks, power for a shortstop. Still an A bunter as a shortstop. Against righties, yeah, he'd be in a platoon probably. That's just slightly below average there. Which brings us to our final team for the evening, the Texas Rangers. Billy Martin guided the team to a playoff appearance, which stunned the baseball world. It'll be Bill Hands, Frank Howard still, Joe LaHood, and Dave Rader. All right, Bill Hands, again, starter 5s. He's usually guys end up in the bullpen. Lefties hit a lot of singles against them. High batting average, not a lot of extra base hits. Same, right, he's good against righties. He's more of a swing starter here, a 4 or a 5, long man, 4.19 ERA. I think he has a year where he can still be a number 3 hole pitcher in 73. But this would be a decent backup card for him. Frank Howard is gone by 74, so we got to go with this 73. And Joe LaHood has a pretty nice 74 card in a platoon. A corner outfielder who's a 3, won't hurt you defensively. And that's your classic power walk OPS guy, probably 800. If you had to swing against lefties, it's not that horrible. High chances plus the walks. It's a decent 271 year for Joe LaHood. Highest batting average in the decade, I believe. And if you just put him in that platoon, it'll take him up to a 300 hitter. That's a nice card for the Rangers. Get that off of there, can we? Be an even better card if I can get that little piece of dirt off of there. All right. Lastly tonight, Dave Rader. What the heck is this all about? So, a 3 catcher, 0 arm, great bat handler, no power, no base running, of course. Hits a high 291 in the most strangest way. Might want to go investigate what the splits were. Over here against righties, he's actually just kind of okay for that average, like a 260 hitter. Column of hits and a walk. But the destruction against left-handed pitching is complete. This is one of the highest bat, and don't forget the single on 4 and 4 there. He's filling up 2 columns with a 6 and 4 and 4. This is Tug McGraw's nightmare. This guy would hit 400, 450 if he faced Tug McGraw all day long. My goodness. Tug, who notoriously was awesome against righties and kind of mediocre against lefties, but do you get enough lefty-lefty opportunities? Well, you got to force them if you have this card. I'd love to get this card in the league just to experiment with it to see what I can get his average up to. I'm batting him 3rd or leadoff against lefties. And it enables a righty-righty catcher platoon. It's easier to find right-handed hitting catchers who hit righties and can't hit lefties, who aren't desirable. One of those guys could platoon with Dave Rader. Interesting look at the Rangers. Fun crew there. And that completes the American League of 1974. We'll pick up next week with the National League East and the National League North. And in the 1974 card set, this is an off-season look of the 1973-76 carryover league. Remember, the draft will be in April of 2025. Thanks for checking this out. We'll see you next time.